Peace, y'all. We're getting near the end of June. It's the 27th, Sunday, the 27th of June. Messing around just a little bit out here today. We didn't really do much of anything the last couple of days. A lot of talking on the phone, a lot of investigating and dealing with parts and pieces and directions we want to go. I told you in that last video, our plans have evolved, things have changed. Me and Rich going to go get us an indoor climate controlled storage unit because we've determined we have 5 carts that are going to be running. The 125, the zip cart, right, the vintage cart that he wants to get out in the garage and start working on, the TS Hurricane that's going to have the Comer on it, and the 4-banger, right? So we'll have 5 running go-karts. Obviously we can't get all of them. Well, we could get them all to the track if we had to, but we need room to do the building, the creating. The 125 over here, we've got another secret project coming that I'm not going to show any of you. We're working on another Daytona project. It's not here yet, but it's coming. And we've got some fiberglass news coming. Don't want to jinx it. I'm going to set you up here. Don't want to jinx the whole thing yet, but we're going to work with our buddy Chris over at Michigan Fiberglass. He's not just a supply shop. He makes parts. He makes some race car parts. For some of you guys might know Leo Capaldi. Remember LCR? His son Craig races cars. Chris makes a lot of the custom parts and pieces, the carbon fiber parts and stuff for their cars, door panels, aerodynamic bits for the cars. And Chris likes Craig because he tends to break stuff, so crash stuff. So he gets a lot of business from those guys. He's not. That's not the only thing he does. He does He makes all kinds of parts and pieces out in the back room of his composite supply store. A lot of advantages to having Chris work with us, or basically me working with him. He's gonna be the guy doing it. We're looking at go-kart fiberglass, go-kart bodywork. He already has a freight system in place where he's taking deliveries and shipping things out, and that's the biggest problem for most folks who want to buy fiberglass for their go-kart and enduro kart, or sprint enduro kart, or whatever superkart, is the shipping. The shipping costs a ton of money, and a lot of times the parts are so big that you can't find a shipper, or it's very expensive. You can put it on Greyhound or something. So Chris has already kind of got that handled, where he's already has a freight account, and he gets, because it's grandma's business and they've been in business 60, 70 years. I mean, they've been around a long, long time, Michigan Fiberglass. Their place in the industry is already set, so everything's taken care of. I've already talked to him about making road race body work and for all types of carts and stuff, and he's interested. So tomorrow's Monday, the obviously 28th. We go down. We take some pieces of fiberglass down there, and I have them look at it. The exciting part is that all the parts, nothing's going to be copied. It'll all be all of our designs, my ideas, obviously, existing ideas that are tuned up, changed, altered, will be 3D printed. First a drawing, proof drawing, 3D drawing I can look at, and then we can make some tweaks and changes or whatever. And then a 3D printed piece that we pull molds from. The cool thing about the way Chris does stuff is it's very rapid. It's very quick, making changes, making multiple different widths, right? Maybe making 2-piece noses like Ace did, right? Like I do with the nose actually literally attaches to a floor tray that stays on the cart. Kind of the same concept. We'll make a 1-piece nose for you people who are used to those 1-piece noses. I think it's pointless. I mean, I like to get in there and work near my pedals and brakes. I don't like to work around the fiberglass, It's just nice to be able to pop some Zeus's in the whole top of the nose. The nose comes off, and literally the bottom would stay. So on your nose cones that you get from motorsport composite, you'll see a body line around that bottom edge, right? Literally, that's a parting plane where the mold is 2 pieces. Maybe a little higher than that, we would go ahead and split molds and literally make the top and the bottom kind of like you do the rockers, right? They have a little recess to them, so when you Zeus the side panel on, everything kind of stays flush and flat. Same thing would happen with the nose. So we could make a 1-piece nose, your standard nose that all of you are used to. 2-piece stuff for guys who like to get in there and take their body work off and actually work on things, and make it easier to get to. Certainly between races makes things far easier to get to. And then of course, some other parts and pieces as well. Little custom bits, obviously, for my 125 project. That whole deal is going to be almost like one-off. I've already explained it to Chris. He would like to make it a universal piece, but because karts have different wheelbases, that's something he's going to have to work out with his 3D guy to be able to make models, I guess, that you either molds, moldless composite pieces that you would literally take pieces out and replace with other pieces, right, to make up for different wheelbase go-karts. So that's completely up to him. My end of this is really just going to be probably at the track sales and delivery, and probably drumming up sales pre-race stuff on a daily basis. But it's all preliminary. We don't know. I still got to take a part down there and run through the process and see. It might not be feasible. It may not be. He may not be able to make the parts for the price people are paying now. But I'll tell you, they aren't hand layup parts, it really is an interesting and new type of way of doing all this stuff. So there's no gook, no mess. That's starting Monday. Tuesday, me and Rich I actually go on my own. I go to take a look at the storage unit. It's a ground floor indoor, air conditioned in the summer, heated in the winter, where you come through a garage door pull right up to your garage, open the door with the trailer, truck, whatever, do your thing, drive out the end, hit a button, the garage door opens, you pull out. So no carts, no load going up, industrial elevators with stuff and totes and all that. No, everything will be ground floor for us. And it's amazing that I found this place relatively cheap, man, relatively cheap for a 10x10 that's air conditioned. Pretty cool. So we'll be able to rotate go-karts in and out of there, get them out of here so they're not in the way of the cut, grind, and welding, the spray and paint, the fiberglassing or whatever we're doing, little parts and pieces and bits and whatever. So that's going to solve problems. So that's Tuesday. Got a big week this week. I've been working. Let me show you what I'm working on. Didn't bring you any of the video. First, this is what I'm working on today. Was taking templates off the bottom of the engine. Obviously to make aluminum flat plate, right? We got some 1/2-inch plate here. We're gonna make a flat plate to go on the bottom of the motor with 2 studs, that goes through our motor mount that's already on here, right? You see that? We had to find the center of the slots that are in the motor mount and find out from the center line of the engine with the clutch on and stuff. It's amazing. From a flat head to a Briggs Animal, they're literally identical, right? They're literally identical. I've got everything lined up: gear, sprocket, clutch sitting. This is the little mark I made on here, which is the center of those slots. You see that blue line there? It's basically straight ahead, right? Even with the oil drain plugs is the center between the mounting holes, the center of the crankcase, and it lines up perfect. And these bolt holes are the same as the chain guard mounting holes in an Animal, because this was on the Animal. Bolts right up, and lo and behold, our chain guard's going to line up and everything. Guys, again, thanks Pop Revely, thanks Jerry Revely. This couldn't have worked out any better. Ordered a pipe tomorrow. I think it's $22 from BMI. We're just going to get a straight 2 or 3 stage straight pipe. She's going to be loud and large and in charge. So that's it. We're going to get the brace on. We're going to get a brace for the carburetor. Make sure the tank is all braced up and everything. We checked the jets in the carburetors. and measured them with little drills and the caliper, and we got about 58 thou through hole. We believe that's alcohol after talking to some guys that are experienced in it. So we know we got everything we need to run methanol, to run alcohol. So yeah, we got to get a gasket for that side cover on that one there. This one I think is the better one of the two. It doesn't have the repair on the front of the crankcase, so I think this is the one we're going to start with. We'll make sure everything's good to go, everything's tightened down. We'll get a gas tank for it and all that, and go from there. So we're making a little progress here. We'll work on, with the templates. All we did is we turned the motor upside down and rubbed a little oil on that surface underneath. Let me show you. Just rubbed a little oil on all these spots here just to mark everything, just real fine, not heavy, just real little bit. Let it sit for 10-15 minutes, and then took a piece of this poster board stuff and just laid it down real easy, pressed it down, ran a piece of metal or something over top of it just to impress the sharp edges, and then that was it. We pick it up and start popping the holes. Sorry, I'm going to turn this back over. Start popping the holes through with our little their little old quarter drive socket that we grind to a point, right? And we pop the holes in, and lo and behold, it lines up perfect. So we wanted to make sure this is as far, we can't go any further back from here because the big boss comes in here where the oil drain hole is, right, for the oil drain plug. So the bolts, let's say we're going to use I think it's a 3/8 bolt, but it'll be a hex head bolt like so. That's going to go through. The head can be no closer than this. We actually probably want to go about a 1/4 inch away. We'll drill the through hole for the threaded bit, the 3/8 hole, and then we'll drill a hole a little bit smaller than the head, and we'll press it in, right? And those will be our studs that go down through that we tighten the motor up with. Through here, we're going to counter bore from the back side up through with Allen bolts. Those will be our studs that holds the motor to the plate. Bing, bang, boom, we're in business. This is probably the car I'm going to take to Grattan. Probably won't take the vintage car, although we've made a lot of progress. Look at that beautiful pipe. We've cleaned it all up. Everything here is done. Pipe mount is done. Pipe is on. It's a little lower than it was sitting last year. We may adjust that a little bit, but everything's good to go. She's all springed up. We clean up the pipe, oiled her down. All we got to do is get some oil in the clutch and fire in the hole, get some fuel, dump some fuel in the tank, and we can start this thing up. It's got last year's gaskets in it, so we won't hurt anything by starting it and letting it sit, even if it sat for a couple months. We're working on longer bolts for the steering wheel here, so we can get them drilled and wired. Still hemming and hawing. We're not exactly sure what we want to do. I know at this point it's just throw the mount on and the old Digitron on there, but for I don't know much about these Yamahas, right? I know RPM is RPM and exhaust temp is exhaust temp, but I don't know how to gear these things, and people give me suggestions that I put it on, and I don't know if it's good or not. All I know is it didn't sound like it wasn't making revs like other Yamaha guys were making revs. So does it need more gear? A Speedo is going to tell you. If you put a Speedo on this thing and you start taking gear off and putting gear on, you look at your lap time and you look at your Speedo, you're going to know what's better for you and what's not. So maybe because we got 4 of those microns, I may just take these leads back off and go with the micron on here. I don't know yet. We aren't running this thing anytime soon. We want to get tomorrow. Rich is going to come by after work. I got to get the wheels and hubs off, get them balanced, index the wheel and hub, and then put the hubs back on. What we're going to do is take the caliper off, break the bleeder loose, rotate it to an orientation so the bleeder side piston pocket is the highest point. Any air can work its way up, and then we'll have Rich ease into the brakes, and we'll literally piss out a little fluid, hopefully some air bubbles. Tighten it down, he can release. We'll come back over here, we'll do the same thing over here, and hopefully that does it. We get this front brake system squared away, get the wheels, tires back on, all balanced, everything's good to go. And then we'll probably, this will be what we take over. This will be one of the things we take over to the storage unit to park. I'm probably going to take my road bike and stick it in there too, because I haven't been riding it, let's be honest. The roads in Michigan are terrible. There's construction everywhere. People drive like idiots, talking on their phone. Do I love riding? I love riding the bike. I mean, it makes me laugh. It makes me feel like I'm 18 years old riding that bike. It's just, you know, it's just the 250, right? So you can literally gas the daylights out of it and make lots of noise, and people turn their heads, and it's got the orange wheels, and everybody just looks at that bike. It catches everyone's eye. But it doesn't really go real fast, which is cool, because I'd kill myself if it did. If it was a 600, I wouldn't be talking to you today. But on the other hand, I don't want to get killed playing with it, and it wouldn't be my fault. It's these idiots out here. So I tried to sell it last year. We got some bites. This kid kept making excuses when it came time to come over and pay me for the money and take the bike, and so I ended up taking it off the market. And so it's a limited edition bike. I'll keep it. I'll keep it forever. It's already paid for. It's already taken care of. So we just drain the gas out of it and shove it into the storage unit too, just to get it out of Rich's way so he can work on his two-stroke pipes for his old RD, right? So just trying to make some room, you know. We got this project going. We're going to buff up these wheels that we're going to use. We got to order some tires for the Hurricane, the Comer cart, or the ARC, the ARC that's over at Rich's that he's cleaning up right now. We also got to order the same 450 and 600s for his Quicksilver, the vintage car. We're going to need to go through his stuff and probably find some gears. And I know he's got gears and belts over there. Just don't know if he's got what he needs for a Grattan October. 100cc, I mean, stocker, I think we ran 1470 there back in the day. We'll start there with an open, and if it's not enough, you know, we'll just start taking a tooth or two off here or there. Or we'll just deal with it. We'll just burp the gas. Besides all this, I was also working on that little carb I had over here, the little Tillotson. I ordered one from England, right, from Talco. It ended up being the wrong carburetor. It had an external pulse connection like the Walboro does, right? But it's a Tillotson with the nice tuning needles on it. There's none of this, you know, shut the high